Hey guys, welcome back to Jason's Design Shop. Today we're gonna put on some house siding called Nichiha. Pretty cool stuff. Let's get started. All right, it's gonna be a fun project, guys. Nichiha makes a cool siding that looks like real wood panels. So it comes with basically four parts. The panels, a starter track, which is way too long, but it sets down on here on the bottom, screws into your studs there. 3 courses of panel goes up, and then you put this little hook, holds the top of the panel, and the next panel goes in on top of this part. And again, you screw in at your studs there. And you do that all the way up. Top one you probably got to trim, and you actually screw through it. Now if you hit a window or something, we're going to hit the bottom of our window. They have this product which you put the siding in front of and screw through. That way water running out the window and stuff can come down and run through these holes. It runs out through the holes in the bottom of the track that they show you, all the way down at the bottom of this one also has holes. So it's designed for air to move behind it and dry everything out behind the siding as well as the front there. So, because if you power wash it, water's going to shoot through those cracks and through the different panels and go behind it. So you have to have a system to drain it all out. Let's get started. Let me show you what this big panel looks like. I'm just going to grab the phone here and take a look at it like this. Isn't that cool? There it is, the whole big panel. Now this is too long for what we need. We need 8 feet of this stuff. So it's pretty long there. Look at that, there's one big panel. And of course, it didn't come with screws, so you have to buy your screws. I did a 1 5/8 screw. That's pretty long because you're only going through this, so it's all going into wood. Right? And caulk. They send you the right color caulk to match the one that you are using, the siding that you're using. So I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tubes of this stuff. I mostly need it to go around the edges of my brick where it meets the siding. But they also use it where 2 ends come together and it hides that seam line, because all the seam lines line up on this product all the way up your project. So this hides it pretty well. All right, let's get started. Other than that, we need to paint the house first. So let's do that in like 2 seconds. All right, let's get this house painted in a snap so we can start that Nichiha siding. Here we go. There it is. Let's get started putting up that Nichiha. This is the vinyl that we need to remove and replace in between these windows. The rest of the house is brick. And behind there is the wood frame that we'll be able to connect the Nichiha to. All right, let's get the demo going. So I've already demoed the siding off of the big part between the 2 windows, upstairs and downstairs. And now I just got to demo this, and there we go. So I just pulled the panel off like that above that window over here. And look what we got. A bunch of beehives, or wasp nests, I guess you can say. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses there. Little ones, some more over there. Wow. I'll have to dig those out. Let's see. They just come off. Find nests, bugs, find a new home. All right, we got the top off, the bottom, it's all taped off. Hello there, guy. Remember that project? All right, joy of joy, I've been working behind a very pokey rose bush. Not making me happy here, poking me in the back. Okay, so it turns out there's one more stud here on 16 from this one to this one. And I'm out of wood for now. But the base is gonna hook on right here. So we're good there. And they're 18 inches tall. So right, I don't know, somewhere around here. So my transition's gonna be here. So this is really where I'm gonna have the new bottom row holding this up. So one here, probably one there. That's all we need. Let's do it. And we will be done. You know, doing this DIY, new construction would be easy. So now the book had a whole page about the silica dust, so the dioxide or something, so that fine particles of sand, naturally occurring product, but it's so fine, gets into your lungs and causes cancer. So they were serious about that, so I got my M95 mask. Let's get set up with some goggles. Here we go. Don't want this to fall and break. Forgot to turn the camera on, but I just put this on and put 3 screws in. Lay the first piece in there and hold it with the top brackets. Don't get it upside down. Boy, it's just right on the edge. There's this big old lip on the inside. Maybe that falls down, like go down something like that. Does that look better?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that covers the drip edge. There's a nice overhang. The next one overlaps above this one. That's correct. Right. So I'll make sure this is in all the way. Yeah. And the water drips out there and it wants to drain. Okay, now this should make more sense. This little lip grabs onto that little lip. See? That makes more sense, huh? We screw it on. I was able to put the cable wires behind this stuff. It's floating so far out. All right, next one. I think that went pretty easy. I think the problem's going to be is when we get higher up, or especially way at the top there, it's going to be hard to do that without someone on each end holding in place while the other third person's screwing it in, getting it all lined up, and the gap on each end for my caulking. Other than that, I love it. Let's go.
This is the right end.
Nope, I spun it wrong. Spin it around, look down. Next one's hard. It's a rip cut. So this goes here, but the top one has to go right up to the window. So I gotta cut that lengthwise. rip cut that. Some L flashing would be nice, but I'm gonna caulk it. That's what was there before on the siding. Okay. So we gotta get one piece there. We gotta caulk that upper edge. I've got the plastic tucked in underneath it, up underneath it there, which will help. So that's gonna be their toughest piece with a long cut. Hey, isn't this Nichiha stuff cool? I'll give you a couple 3 seconds to get down there and click that subscribe button because you're having so much fun. You're still here. All right, let's go. Can't see a dark line in the shadow. So I couldn't see the line in the shadow of myself on there on the dark wood and the dark line. So I got this Craig jig. We're gonna give it a try. Runs along the edge here and blade's cutting right here, and it should slide all the way down this thing like this. Give it a shot. Need more of a wind. This sucks. Wow. I don't like that. A lot of dust. Can't see the line very well. It's all underneath there. That jig won't ride straight and correctly. But the edge, the line is still nice and straight, but I think it's too thick on one end and perfect on the other down here. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. That's what caulking's for. But I found out sliding that jig on there also may have damaged the surface a little bit. Take a look. So I'm hoping these will come out. I can see it through there. It's coming back. Forever gonna have these scrapes. 'Cause I noticed little chips and stuff from their own packaging, and chip on the edge here. Not bad on the board, but sliding that jig on there is just enough to damage the surface. So maybe put it all in here. That's frustrating. So I'm gonna play some games. The one that I scratched, I'm gonna put either at the top of this one or way up high above these windows, right? Because now it's the most visible spot there on the walkway in front of the door. So I'm gonna put this track up and do these 2 full sheets and cut that one and hopefully do a nicer job. I got some other ideas that we'll try. Use a big runner board to push up against to cut something that's not sliding around constantly on the surface and damaging it. So they are pretty fragile on the surface treatment. All right, let's get this one up. Okay, I've taken a starter track and made a edge to run the skill saw against. And of course it's gonna be springy a little bit, so I backed it up with these boards and we look like we're pretty solid this way. It doesn't want to go anywhere. See? So maybe this time I get a much straighter cut. Here we go. completely stripped out the blade. Wow. Completely stripped out the blade. It was turning into the straight edge and binding. That's why I kept backing up, trying to cut to the left. I wanted to go to the right and dig into this. Weird, like this front edge was grabbing and pulling it in. Never had that happen on a straight edge before. Destroyed my good blade. We're done. Okay, I've pre-drilled and screwed in, I don't know, 9 screws or so for the top row. Again, the caulking should cover that up, and I'm really hoping the caulking will cover that mess up, and it will. And it's going to be up high under the window, so you probably will never see it. Other than that, here we go. Okay, one step left to caulk up this big crack and little crack all the way down and down this brick edge with the caulking they gave us. All right, here we go. Oh, we have a nice razor sharp behind me. Oh my gosh. Gotta be careful. This rose bush is a deadly one. I'm gonna start up here with a less visible area. Here comes the goop. Looks like a good match, like they say. Definitely a good match in color. Two, let's go down this edge. Nice little bead. This looks tight here. Thing's nice and anything that hits the board, it hides really well. Let's see about covering the screw. And squish. Look at that. That's beautiful. Whoa, I got it up there. There we go. There we go. I think it's a great match. Looks good. That's the last step. So I'm gonna finish all this up and see you in the next video. Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please subscribe and watch for more coming videos of cool projects and things like that. So if you're interested in my thoughts about all this Nichiha stuff, stay till after the closing there, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But for everyone else, see you next week or next time. Laters. So you're sticking around. Okay, so you want to know my thoughts on this whole Nichiha process. Well, I think overall it was pretty cool. Fun to do something again that I've never done before. Put up some, cement board siding. Two things. One, didn't need this. My had a header, if you remember seeing me putting those last pieces up either under the window, or now I'm doing some above the window. the wood was right there flush against the board, so I didn't need this to support it, right, and drill through. And so I'm hoping to return this whole box and maybe get some money back. And then I'm digging around, I'm like, wait a minute, what's this? Single flange sealant backer. So I found this, it came with everything, and I didn't use any of it. It's a bunch of metal flashings. I don't know if I can get one out. Let's see, oh, I pulled it like this, and I got one out right there. Okay, there we go, so you can see the shape. So like that. So it's meant for the Nichiha board to go behind this, like this, I'm sorry, this way. And this on the end, on each end, will fill up the thickness of it. So when you go to put the caulking in, you only have a little bit to put in, you know, thickness, the width of my finger there. And I have some pretty big gaps that I've been filling in with caulking. And so I wasn't gonna have enough to fill up, so I got a different one, just white window caulking, and went back and forth and filled in the big gap, and then came over the top with the Nichiha matching caulking. I'm gonna run out, filling up these huge holes, and filled up just the top, smoothed it all out, and it looks brown and flush. It looks great there against the paint. Did want to smear out against the paint a little bit, but it washes pretty easy. It wipes with a paper towel pretty well, so you can get a nice sharp edge. So that was good. Yeah, I'm very happy with the caulking product. Yeah, the gaps were my fault, but it's hard to make that perfect. Then, let's see, what else? Cutting them, quite an experience, learning process there, as you saw in the video. Trying to use a straight edge, different things like that, did not work. The best thing to do was in the end there is just to eyeball it and follow your line. It wants to turn to the right. I think that's just my saw or the type of blade, I don't know. Oh, I had the broken way. The one blade burned the whole, twisted this out of it, and that was crazy. But I had another one, and this one seems to be, it just goes true. I mean, just like when you do a cross cut, the length cut's kind of the same thing. It's just long and annoying and loud, and you keep stopping to blow the dust away so you can, brush away so you can see the line again, make sure you're still on it, and usually you're pretty much right on it. When you get all done, the line was straight. The back end keeps you from turning. But it's funny, but with a straight edge, it wants to turn, but without a straight edge, it goes pretty straight. I did have to just pull a little bit on the front to the left on my saw. I think it's a saw issue, I don't know. But yeah, so that worked. What else? Let's talk about fragility of the products. See this picture right here? Yeah, I just cut one end of that was a long cut, so it was a long piece. I just bent over a foot from the ground and let go, and that piece broke off. So very fragile. I'm sure if you've worked with it before, yeah, fiberboard is fragile, but yeah, it's pretty fragile, so you don't want to be dropping or throwing it around or anything. And of course, the top surface is just like a paint, very, very thin layer of paint. And you saw the scratches, the chips. I dinged it turning around with holding those brackets that go on the top. I'll turn around and go bam with a sharp corner, and I'm like, nice, big old ding in there. But most of that got solved with the caulking. I was able to squirt that and rub with your finger, gone. The harder ones were with the Craig jig that I used, going along the side of the Nichiha. That long metal cross piece, as it went all the way down, all the high ridges got rubbed. It made these long scratches all over. Well, I went with this caulking and went over all that and rubbed it, and then it hit almost everything. But that was a bit of work. It was more artistic there. And I put that piece way up high above the upper window. You'll never see it, but from the street, it looks great. Yeah, so the surface of that paint is very prone to scratching and chipping and breaking. So be careful with that. So I'm happy with it, but I think in the end I would try a different product. The reason I got this product is because I wanted to be end on end. All the other lap I find is overlapping, right? And I liked how this was just flat. It looked very modern that way. And because almost all lap, that's what it means to be overlapping, right? Ship lap and all this. So I like that flat surface, but I think I would try a different product think Wood Tones has a bunch of product, or that's one of the brands within the company, Wood Tones, that looks like wood. I might try that in the future. On the cabin we're gonna build, so we're trying to figure out what to put on there, and now I'm really concerned about using this stuff, because if you go from the ground up and you want to put firewood there and you're throwing your firewood logs every summer to put up there, and it's just dinging the crap out of it, and dinging that all up, and you know, messing with your nice wall. So I don't want to do that. So I need a product that's a little tougher. I might actually use real wood. I don't know. We're still looking for the right products for the project up there. All right, pros and cons. Pros. Super cool looking, very modern. Has a great system for, you set it down, all the weights being held on that one thing, and you can just hold it there with a finger and get the other brackets and put them on top, and it pinches it. The next one goes on top of that, and hides all those metal brackets. Cool system there. So if you just we're using the full length pieces or something, bam, 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 it'll go up so fast. Love that. And cons. It's fiber cement. It's dusty. It's hard to cut. It's annoying in that respects. Two, it's chips easy. It breaks easy. It's fragile stuff, right? So you got to get up there and be careful with it. That's a lot of talking. I don't know what else to tell you. So if you have any questions or comments, put them down below, and maybe then it'll jog my memory and I'll be able to answer those questions, because I don't see a lot of people talking about this stuff online. So if you want to ask, go ahead and ask. I will try to answer what I know from this one experience. All right, guys, that's it. Check out my other videos and all that kind of stuff, and subscribe and like, and love y'all. Laters.